I have you.
I can hear you now.
You couldn't hear me either, could you?
No, I don't know what was up. Rookie problems. I'm still getting used to this.
Yeah, I've only done this once before, but I think the exact same thing happened the last time. So,
Oh God, yeah, technology. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Oh my God.
geez, you're doing well. You're
Oh,
flying.
yeah, it's a challenge. I suppose some other people do run marathons. I decided to jump into technology and try and overcome it. You know, it was always something I didn't like, but you know, I feel accomplished that I have overcome it, and it's probably just a story I'm telling myself. But no, it is.
Oh,
It's good.
big time.
Yeah.
No, you've done great. Yeah, because
Got-
even recording, I think teaching via Zoom is hard. Like when you're not getting the feedback from, from your.
Yeah. No, it is. You know, but I think having the experience of teaching classes and you're doing an exercise, you know the common, maybe mistakes that people would make.
Yeah.
So you're able to give those instructions, knowing that I can't imagine jumping into it straight off, maybe when you have the experience of people in the classroom. So that's why it's been okay. But like that, I struggled with it too. I said it was the same as a guitar player sitting in an empty bar and just singing songs to himself with no audience.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. But it's fine. It's been good now, and the feedback's been great. And you know, it's great that people are still working away at home. So it's good. But thanks so much for coming on. And it's
not
lovely.
At all.
Yeah, I haven't seen you since sixth year, I think.
Oh, so I think we met once. I don't know, was it on a night out in Blaney? Yeah,
probably
over Christmas, but it's been a long time. No, it has. I've been watching what you're doing on social media though, so I feel like I've seen
how
you.
You have your own little your girls at home, and you're all still motivating each other with exercise, and you're tagging them, and you're keeping each other going. It's brilliant.
Yeah, funny. That's the past year. We have a group, and again, it's with the Blaney girls. And we have really kind of kept each other motivated with different kind of challenges and different things. So no, it has been brilliant. And it's been a game changer. I think trying to motivate yourself just to do the same thing every week is it's so hard. So it has been amazing. Yeah. So it has kept us going, kept us motivated.
Like-minded people. I read a good quote, and it said that if you're on a health journey or you're trying to stay healthy, try and find like-minded people, because they will keep you going.
Yeah, and I think even it's kind of like accountability. Now, some people like that, some people don't. I like that. So, having someone that you say you're going to do something, then they're following up, did you do it today? Who has it done? Yeah. So that was a big thing, I think, for all of us. So, yeah, no, it's been great. It really has been great.
Yeah, oh, that's great. That's brilliant. Claire, thanks so much for coming on, because we're having a bit of a health gains month with my clients, because I know online there's a lot of focus on weight loss. So I was just kind of getting people to look at their health gains and how we can make those, and with lifestyle changes or exercise or with nutrition. And you're a big advocate through your own lifestyle and your own choices and your education. And I, especially now, even with Circle of Light. So I just wanted to come on to discuss that with you, Sarah. Obviously, I'm using Circle of Light, and I think it's fantastic. But yeah, I'm going to introduce you first. I'm going to get into talking before. Better introduce you. People are like, who is this? Some of my people, a lot of people on here know you, which is fantastic. But just to introduce you first, before we jump into about Circle of Light. So Sarah is a Castleblayney native, and she was an absolute powerhouse on the basketball court and on the GA pitch too with Camogie. So I know then that you went on to DCU and played basketball with DCU, and you pursued your education, which was no surprise, in health sciences, and then went on to become CEO of Circle of Light, the granulated health drinks, which is fantastic. So what about exercise now, Sarah? You're a busy mom of three. How do you prioritize it when you're trying to run a new company? Is it important now more than ever?
Oh yeah, the simple answer is yes. It's probably more important now, and it's probably important for different reasons. So again, like my husband and I would have the same kind of the same kind of focus or, you know, belief around, you know, exercise and how important it is for us kind of day to day. So we both met when we were both playing kind of Superleague basketball. So back then, I suppose our training was, you know, always focused towards performance or for getting stronger or fitter, you know, for basketball. Whereas since having kids, it's definitely shifted in terms of, I suppose, the motivation. So obviously the motivation is always, you know, for health. And again, with my background being exercise science, you know, Paddy by osmosis has absorbed this, you know, how important it is as we get older, you know, to build and maintain muscle, and also to maintain aerobic fitness. So both of us would obviously understand that from a physical perspective. But I think since we've had kids, we've both realized how important exercise is day to day for our mental health. So we would both see it in each other, you know, like if there's a week that one of us or both of us have kind of been overrun or busy with work or whatever it is that kind of took priority, we would see it in each other and we'd sort of identify it, and we're not ourselves, and whether it's low mood or irritable or whatever it is, we can see it, and we're really tuned into that now. So we facilitate each other kind of finding and carving out time in our day and in our schedules kind of to get that together, whatever the workout is or whatever, even if it's just some sort of moving or walking, whatever it is each day. So there's those prime times like before the kids wake in the morning and maybe after they go down at night. So we kind of fight over who gets to go or who gets to take those slots.
No, I hear you. And that's just following on even from my talk with Shane last week about the importance of exercise for mental health, because we have 4 children, and like that, myself and James, and, you know, carving out the exercise, it is for, I feel I'm a better mother when I'm exercising. I'm calmer, I'm more focused, I'm not irritable.
You're a nicer person.
Yeah, you work from a better place. Yeah. My sister had a sign up in our kitchen and it says, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So I said, you know, mommy, my exercise is so important. But that's fantastic, you know, that it's great, I think, too. It's a good example to your 2 children when you or your 3 when you're carving out that time too.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing as well. I think they see it as part of our day. So that's what, you know, at some point in the day, and they know, and then they recognize when you're in the gear, you know what I mean? For me, it's always to see a headband or to see me in my training gear. They just sort of, are you going to the gym, or they know that it's happening, you know, and they accept it and they understand, okay, mum's not available for an hour or whatever it is. And I think for me, it's not about sort of harping on to the kids that they need to get out and exercise, that they need to get out and move. It's sort of monkey see, monkey do. They need to see that we prioritize it and that it's just part of life. So if it's not every day, it's on as many days as we can do, you know, each week, something active, and get out, and they see it and they understand it, and they know that it's part of what's really important for mum and dad.
Yeah, the transition from team sport also to individual sport, how did you find that?
Funny, I think I was probably in a bit of a funk for a while after team sport, because first of all, you have the competitiveness. Like, it's very hard just to be competitive yourself or going into the gym for the sake of it. And even you miss that camaraderie or the community element. So initially, I suppose I just worked out for the sake of working out, and then I'd done a marathon and I did all that kind of training, and it was great, and the marathon was brilliant. The actual, you know, event was brilliant, but like the type of training wasn't really something that massively appealed to me. And it's only in recent years actually that I found CrossFit. And funny, whenever I used to hear about CrossFit, I kind of sort of looked at it and didn't really get it. And I know there's a lot of humor around it, you know what I mean? And whenever people get into CrossFit, they get really into it. So now I'm one of those people that's really into it because it just ticked all the boxes for me. So I was at that stage where I was like, I was after having my first 2 kids, and I was looking for something different. So I was sick of just going to the gym, and like, there was nothing, like, I had no coach, you know what I mean? And then I was thinking, yeah, but I'm not an elite athlete. Why would I have a coach? And that's when I kind of decided, no, because I sort of know what to do, you know, in the gym. So, you know, from my background. But then I decided, you know, I want to go and learn new skills. And that's what I did. Like, CrossFit, the things that I've learned in CrossFit and the enjoyment you get out at this stage in life of learning something new, whether it's a handstand, whether it's pull-ups, or it's something, a gymnastics movement. And for me, that, and you know, weightlifting, whatever it is. So it gave me that, and I sort of had been missing that with training. And then the camaraderie, it is as close to team sport as I've experienced.
Yeah.
So I really like that side of things. And I'm a bit competitive, so I kind of like that you can go in and you can do your own thing, or you can go in and you can compete and you can push yourself. And that suits my personality, as you know.
Yeah. Funny, I think for me, well, when I left playing team sport at school, I was so lost. It's great now that I've been in a lot of schools teaching classes in transition year, so girls get to try lots of different things before they leave school now, whereas we didn't. We just, you played the sport, that was it. So like, they've done it all. They've done Pilates, they've done yoga, they've done circuit training, they've done boxercise, they've done everything. So but I left school and I gained weight and I struggled then. I didn't know, I felt lost. Like, I went over to my sister in America, and I remember going down to like the local park with my basketball, like just like bouncing the ball to see if it was the right. I didn't know any other. I couldn't go with a camogie stick, but then I started going to classes and loved them. So I love the comrade. I love teaching classes. I'm not a big PT person. I never was. I love that group element. I love being around people. So that's where I went after school then, you know. But and
I think what you've hit the nail on the head. It's about finding what suits you. So what we like is our other, like someone else's worst nightmare. So it's finding, and in general with exercise, and like, it's so important that you do move every day, but it's finding something that you like, whether that's going for a walk, whether it's skipping, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's running, whether it's team sport, even at this stage in life. But it's finding something that you will easily and, you know, incorporate into your day, and that you'll do it every day and you'll enjoy doing it. So
that's
taking on,
you have to enjoy it.
Yeah, you do. And I think if everyone else is doing something, you think, okay, that's what I need to do. If you don't enjoy it, it's going to be a chore, and it's always going to be an effort. So you have to make a change that's sustainable for you. And the only way it's sustainable is if it is something that you enjoy.
Absolutely. I always say that to people, you know, keep looking until you find something. There is something for everyone. Just keep looking and do what you enjoy. That's great, Sarah. So I'm just going to move on to your business, Circle of Light. So I know there's always a journey or a reason that people start what they do. Like I told you about mine there with the classes and beginning that. But how was Circle of Light born? How did you come up with the idea?
So I suppose, well, as you know, I've been in academia since I left college. So I did sports science and health as an undergrad in DCU, and then I did my master's and PhD in clinical exercise physiology. So again, when I started that journey in exercise science, I was all about, you know, elite athletes and performance, and that was the route that I believed that I wanted to go. And then somewhere along the way, there was kind of a shift from performance to health, and that was, I got involved. I was working with Dr. Noel McCaffrey's Heart Smart program, which is basically an exercise program for people who have had a cardiac event. And I suppose firsthand I saw the direct impact that you can have on someone's health. So, and I suppose during my time in academia, you know, I came back around. Then I was in Waterford IT, I was at IT Carlo, and then I came back to DCU, and I was director of the sports science and health program. So there very much started to focus, I suppose, on cardiovascular health and across the lifespan. So from, you know, childhood right through to older adults. And again, I started to research, I came across, I suppose is how it happened, you know, research about the health benefits of chlorogenic acid in the green coffee fruit. So for me, as a coffee drinker, I was intrigued by this. So the green coffee fruit is rich in chlorogenic and ferulic acids and other, you know, antioxidants and polyphenols and other sort of compounds. But I was fascinated by the health benefits, but then to realize that all the health benefits are destroyed, you know, during the roasting process in, you know, and that's the coffee that you and I drink and that I drank. So all the health benefits are destroyed. And I think that kind of sums up the, you know, the food processing industry as it is, in that with processing and with refined foods, so much of the nutrition is lost. So as I suppose the more I got into that and learned about chlorogenic acid, and chlorogenic acid has been scientifically proven to reduce blood pressure and cholesterol, Ferulic acid, a lot of people might be familiar with ferulic acid from as a key ingredient in their anti-aging serums and their skincare. But all of this goodness, for lack of a better word, is being lost, you know, with the processing or the roasting of the beans.
Yeah.
So I started looking into, I suppose, ways to deliver green coffee in a way that's palatable, because chlorogenic acid is intensely bitter to taste. So that's obviously one of the reasons why the coffee bean is roasted.
Yeah.
So looking at ways that we could deliver it, and also in doing so preserve the health benefits. So I suppose along the way, if we looked at different ways to kind of counteract the bitterness, and we looked at sugar, and again, sugar, a lot of people kind of just put off immediately anything that's high in sugar. Yeah. So again, we came around and we ended up, we now have really, and I know you're a fan, which I'm delighted to hear, we've now sweetened our green coffee, you know, with chicory inulin. So chicory inulin is a soluble or a prebiotic fiber. So now we're basically delivering the health benefits of the green coffee, and it's in a really tasty, palatable form. So again, the drinks can be taken hot, cold, or sparkling. So depending on your preference, I like them hot. Patty prefers them cold. So it's totally a different. I don't know, how do you like to drink them actually? You haven't said hot yet. Same.
I was like, I love that food, let thy food be thy medicine and let thy medicine be thy food. I love that line. I saw it on your website, and then I purchased it, and I was looking at the ingredients, and went and I was Googling it and looking up all about it, and I was blown away, Sarah, by the health benefits. And I you know, I was like, gosh, we're drinking hot drinks anyway. Like I would have drank herbal teas anyway. And I do, hands up, say I probably could take one coffee. More than that, then it would make me feel sick. So I'd maybe start, you know, drinking herbal teas. But then I was like, gosh, look at all these benefits. This is brilliant. Like I'm getting the satisfaction of this hot drink, and I'm also added bonus getting all these health benefits. But you touched on some of them there, and it was the chicory root that I was Googling. Whenever. I know you don't believe everything on Google, but I did believe this because you're giving me the assurance that they are. But just tell us some more of the health benefits, Sarah, of the chicory root, and especially with gut health. That's where I was focusing in on.
Yeah, I suppose gut health at the moment is a hot topic, for lack of a better word. And I think it's because people are starting to come around to realize that the majority of our immune cells are actually in our gut. And again, traditionally, we kind of compartmentalize the body and the different systems. So your cardiovascular system, and we thought of it as totally independent to your respiratory system and your nervous system and your digestive system. Whereas now we know that they're linked, and our gut in particular has an impact on all of our body functions and all aspects of health, and, you know, many diseases. So I think there's definitely an awareness around the importance of our gut health and having a diverse microbiome. So for us, again, I mentioned that we are delivering our green coffee, and inulin is allowing us to deliver green coffee and all the health benefits, cardiovascular health benefits of green coffee. But then during the process of discovering this wonder product, inulin, we now have our product, and you're familiar with Fiber 89. So our Fiber 89 is 89% inulin. So inulin is basically, it's a soluble fiber. So we've extracted it from the chicory root. And as a soluble fiber, the benefits are, you know, it reduces the emptying of food from the stomach. So therefore it can reduce appetite. It has an impact on, you know, it can basically reduce fluctuations in blood glucose. It can also have an impact on reduce cholesterol. But as a prebiotic, which is what we were really interested in as a prebiotic, because prebiotics basically act like a fertilizer for your gut bacteria. So basically stimulates the growth of the good bacteria in your gut. So again, I'm very obviously excited about that, and about being able to improve the diversity of your microbiome. But probably the thing that it has the most impact, you know, acutely, so immediately when people start to take this, anyone who struggles with regular bowel movement or has any digestive issues, there's huge benefits with inulin. So inulin has an EFSA approval that it can increase stool frequency and basically relieve constipation. So the feedback that I have had, you know, from different people, from children to older adults to people who have suffered with constipation their whole life, whether it's during pregnancy, postpartum, all of those issues, that feedback, because that's the thing. I suppose people, you know, we walk around, we don't really know what our microbiome looks like, what
Oh,
it is, if it's healthy, if it's not, you know. Definitely over a longer period of time, you know, taking the drinks, you will feel better in yourself, and it impacts everything, but it's not as easy to pinpoint. Whereas the impact that it has on people's digestive health is something that basically it's so obvious, you know what I mean, and day to day.
Yeah,
So
I know.
that feedback's fab.
That's, you know, and again, I'm a big fan of prevention anyway. Like, I know, like you might buy prebiotics in tablet form, and I have been, this has happened to me a few times where I'd buy supplements to take, but I just find the tea so easy to take because I'm always reaching for a cup anyway, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Like, you might buy like a tablet form and you get through half the bottle, like you forget then, or you don't, it's not in your routine, but the tea is just, you know, it's that Irish thing of pouring yourself the tea.
Yeah.
But, you know, it doesn't taste like coffee, Sarah. That's a lot of people think, because, you know, while we are maybe a nation maybe of more tea drinkers, but you'd be surprised so many people don't like coffee. Do you know? They, you know, they like the smell of it, but they don't like the taste of it. But it doesn't taste like coffee.
No.
You know, no, yeah.
No, not at all. It doesn't taste, look, smell, or it barely resembles coffee. And funny, when we spoke to different people before launching, they actually said, would you consider not calling it green coffee? And we sort of thought, because it's confusing, if you're someone who doesn't like coffee, then you might be less inclined to pick it up. And whereas we don't see ourselves kind of sitting anywhere near tea and coffee. Like we're a totally different product. Like the health benefits of our unroasted green coffee, fiber 89 and triple Z, like there's no comparison to what's in the tea and coffee aisle. And even we don't see ourselves sitting with supplements either, because our product is 100% food, you know, and extracted from plants, and we've preserved the health benefits. So we don't see ourselves, you know, in that we're almost like a new category particularly in the supermarket industry. And for us, it still is one of the challenges, is that people don't understand us and they don't really get us. So when we're in a health food store or we're in a pharmacy, the pharmacist and, you know, whoever's working in the health food stores understands the product. They understand chlorogenic acid, they understand inulin, they understand the ingredients in the triple Z herbal sleep remedy, and they're able to explain that to the customer. In a supermarket, we are a new category, and we are sitting there, and unless you're someone who's willing to stop, pick up the leaflet and read about us, you know, it's hard kind of to explain, you know, who we are and what we are. And we also have a number of people say, you know, 1995, geez, it's very expensive for coffee. And it's not even comparable in that sense. So you're looking, there's over a month's supply in each pouch. And you hit the nail on the head. Preventive health, like that for me has always been, and it's from my background in exercise science, preventive health is a core value of mine. And it's what we do now, and how we live now, how we eat and what we eat is basically, it's like an investment in our future. So how, you know, what we do now, the impact that it will have in how our lives will be in years to come, and the quality of our lives. You know, whether they're going to be years, you know, in good quality of life, or whether it's going to be managing disease and managing sickness and frailty.
You know, calling it coffee, actually, I don't think it was a wrong idea, because it made me look at my own relationship with coffee. And I wouldn't say it's that bad. I definitely, like I said, I never did consume a lot of coffee in a day. But it made me look, I would always look for a healthier choice. If I could get something and there's a healthier choice, I'll go for the healthier choice. So seeing a green coffee to me was a winner. I was like, this is a healthier choice, I'll take this. So, and like that, with the price of it, Sarah, I mean, like I told you, I've said this to other people, if you can go out and spend €4 on a latte multiple times a week, I mean, you know, and this is like one teaspoon is whatever, you know, I just, you know, it's a health investment. So I can't argue with the price.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I would say this sort of, I'm being facetious, but like the other things that might compare to it are in the alcohol aisle. We have no problem, you know, spending X amount in a bottle of wine or a slab of, you know, cans or whatever it is. So it's about, I suppose, a shift in mindset. So as you said, if there's a choice, you know, you'll opt for the healthier choice. And again, just even what you said, a lot of people find it fantastic to replace or reduce their caffeine intake. So our unroasted green coffee is very low in caffeine. So it's comparable almost to decaf tea. So, or decaf coffee. So it's around 9 milligrams of caffeine per serving. So if you're someone who's working from home and you're going, you know, especially as it comes into the afternoon, a lot of people are consciously trying to give themselves a caffeine curfew because it's affecting their sleep or whatever it is. It's not helping them with their, you know, with anxiety or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it definitely is an option, you know, to knock out, you know, some of the traditional teas or coffee. And again, just to say, you're referring to them all as drinks. Fiber 89, I don't know if you've tried this yet, but Fiber 89, how I tend to take Fiber 89 is over Greek yogurt or in oats. So that would be a way, and it's that I would, I'm probably more a cinnamon than a ginger fan, but that's how I take that.
Yeah. I have the cinnamon one too, and probably because I just love the hot drink. Like, you know, I've even gone out to like, you know, like even if they go cold, like I know you can take them cold, I'll drink them, but I've seen me at my classes having maybe herbal teas. And drinking them in my water, or you know, even when it cools down. So, but yeah, I was so excited, very excited about it because the health benefits, and then equally so excited because you're a Castleblayney native, Sarah, and I just think it's absolutely fantastic what you've done. And you know, I've seen your drinks pop up on different pages too of people locally, and you're getting a lot of support around home, which is fantastic. And I hope that continues. And I have to say too, I did jump on your offer. I know I like it, so I jumped on your online offer. So I don't think I paid $19.99. I think I bought that. I think I bought that many of them. They were like $12.50 or something.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So a month's supply. I think I have a year's supply here. But like just this too, you know, we're used to pouring or boiling the kettle and the hot tea over the tea bag or the hot tea, and it says on the packet that it shouldn't be boiling water. That destroys the nutrients in the tea, does it? Yeah,
well, boiling water and that heat would destroy. But whatever, a lot of people sort of get confused by that. So again, that was something will we put in, will we not? But it is important that it's not at 100 degrees, but anything below that. So I would either just knock off the kettle just before it boils, or I let it sit for a minute. But you know, so that's like, it's not, you don't have to have it lukewarm. And I know there's been people who've tried to drink it lukewarm and they don't enjoy it. Now some people do, but it's obviously the hotter the water, the easier it is to dissolve as well. And that's to do with fiber. Like, it's quite a challenge to deliver fiber, soluble fiber, in that way that it will sort of dissolve, and the way it's combined. So it's a process of lyophilization that we have preserved all of the health benefits. So to get that to dissolve can be challenging. But and it's funny,
like Pilates, I do say that the people who benefit most from Pilates are people with sore backs, and they'll tell you after a couple of weeks, my back feels great. And it's not till maybe someone has a gut problem, starts drinking the tea, they're like, gosh, I feel so much better. But again, it's just coming back to that. And for people, again, that's why I want people to start thinking about health gains and how we can make them. And it is the prevention. It's these little small things on a regular basis. I'm like, you know, do this before it gets to that stage, you know, because curing it is often a lot harder.
And again, you just touched on something you said, that you would always, you know, go for the healthier option. Like, that's fine, but that it's not always realistic. So I suppose for me, it's about, if I can sort of empower people with accurate and reliable information, then they're able to make, you know, educated choices and conscious choices. And we're not, even when it comes to food, like, it's not feasible or possible that we're all time poor, you know, whether it's kids, whether it's work, whatever it is. So, you know, X amount of days of the week or times throughout the week, we will opt for the ready to go or the processed food or the stuff coming out of the packet. But I suppose as long as we have an awareness that when we can make the healthier choice, that we do. So it's about education, and it's not like, health isn't about struggle and deprivation. And I think sometimes that's the message that comes through from the wellness industry, because it's that you're never good enough, so you must always buy the next product, or you must always you know, invest in this or follow this person's program, and it's a struggle but it's worth it, and they sort of sell you this image that isn't attainable.
I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy learning about it. It's an enjoyment for me, like, as it's my work, it's also, I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy. Like, again, like the conversation with Shane was about the benefit of exercise for mental health. So I enjoy all of this across a broad, so I don't find it stressful, but I do understand what you're saying. The public can get stressed out with overload of information, or thinking that, like, I often read about the 80-20 rule. Like, if you're trying your best 80% of the time and the other 20% of the time, it's, it's that balance too. But like I said, it's an enjoyment for me, but I would never like to see it causing more stress for people. But it is about, making healthier choices though, and not be shamed for that. I've been at the other end of the spectrum where I've been scorned and shamed for trying to make healthier choices. Oh gosh, is this what society is, that if I try to make healthier choices, so it's
totally. And again, there's a couple of things there that you said. It is overwhelming for people, like the amount of information at our fingertips now because of social media, because of Google. So I sometimes forget about what my background is, so I can decipher a lot of the, the nonsense from the truth. But for someone who doesn't have that background, who isn't trained in that area, it's very difficult to navigate. And I get that all the time with friends and family, and they'll ask questions. And sometimes I'm like, I'm sort of taken aback by how did they not realize that? But I come to realize, like, it's not like, this is stuff that I did this in college, you know what I mean? So I studied this for years. And the whole goal, like the goal of the wellness industry, is to almost confuse and to cause that kind of deliver mixed messages. So people don't really know what to do, but they'll spend their money in sort of an attempt to try to, so they feel like they're doing the right thing. So there's a lot wrong with that industry. And I suppose the message is simple. And I suppose that's what I want to do, is deliver simple messages. And again, not for people to feel overwhelmed, or it's not something that is really confusing. It's making small, really small changes that are sustainable. And then you'll gently move towards that, a healthier lifestyle, and very often a happier lifestyle. But it's not about drastic changes or drastic calorie deficits or anything like that. That's the road to misery. It's the road to obsession and compulsive behavior. I think that's important to watch out for, whenever, with different people. So
no, that's great. Absolutely. Even it's like, I'm just thinking, when you're talking about the beauty industry, they said if we learn to love ourselves, the beauty industry would go bust overnight. So it's absolutely. A bit like, again, I do agree with you there, because over the years, my approach to exercise changed as well. I mean, when I trained, I was at college doing a degree in something totally different, and I often regret that, and in the evening times I was studying and everything that I do now. But it was all about aesthetics, and it was all about getting into a calorie deficit, and it was all about mirrors and what you look like in the mirrors. And over the years, then it changed for me, because it was so much more. And then through injury, through excessive exercise and that obsession, and I was, it was my work. I thought I could do so much, and through injury, then I ended up going into yoga and Pilates to recover, like from injuries I sustained from over exercising,
Totally. And even that over exercising and under eating, again, sometimes the level, like the goal, I suppose, or the physique that some people might be chasing. And again, because I'm a female, I'm tuned into this, the impact that has on female health, reproductive health, hormones, all of that is devastating. And it's something that girls might fall into in their 20s, and they might spend their 30s trying to fix it, if they're trying to get pregnant or they're trying to get their cycle back in action. So with that restricted calories and over exercising, and the impact it has on bone health, and it really is something that needs to be kind of addressed and spoken about more, so female health in general, I think we need to sort of take the lid off it a good bit, and all of these topics that have been taboo need to be spoken about. And even again, I don't know if I have this, we were back and forth about it with regard to Fiber 89. For me, I suppose it's after having 3 children, I became, because I'm so keen I wanted to still train. Particularly my first pregnancy, I was probably quite tentative, trained away on my second, but on my third, I was very fit and strong getting pregnant, and I kind of wanted to maintain it, but I wanted to do that safely. And I suppose I was lucky enough that I'd access to, in my opinion, the best pelvic health physio in the country, and probably the UK, Helen Keeble. Do you follow her?
I've signed on to her course.
She's amazing.
May.
Brilliant.
So I'm looking
Brilliant.
forward to that, because I would I teach postnatal Pilates and I teach pregnancy yoga. So I was waiting for her course to come up, because she's just had a child too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Put it up last week. I was like, yes, I finally on this course.
Yeah. She's fabulous. And I suppose she's in my gym. So I was lucky to sort of come across her. And she you know, her and her husband moved over from the UK. They're based in Dublin now. So she works out of Blackrock Clinic. And again, as soon as I found out who she was and what she did, I was literally, I think it was a cool down at the end of this session. And I sort of worked my way over to be stretching beside her. And then but it took me so many conversations with her for certain messages to go in. And I remember whenever one of the messages did go in, I remember I actually was like, and I just sort of got up, and I remember walking over to one of the coaches and being like, because I have studied this and I taught this at third level, and she just blew the lid off something. And I just was like, what? I just was like, how? I'm a woman, I'm on my third baby, I have a really good background and understanding of exercise physiology. And the stuff that she told me just with regard to protecting our pelvic floor and all of that. And I remember coming out and getting into the car, and, you know, I think I left voice notes for my other friend who was pregnant and my sisters and my mom. And I was just, I was like, why is this information so hard for us? Like, for me, you know, I knew where to look and to navigate and kind of pull it out of her. Yeah. But like, people don't have access to that. And I live in Dublin, so I've like, there's lots of brilliant, like Elaine Barry is another excellent pelvic health physio, and she's also on social media. But if you don't have access to this and it's not talked about, there's so many women go through pregnancy and postpartum, and then they're in their 50s and they're like, oh yeah, I couldn't go on a trampoline, or I can't drink coffee if I'm going on a long journey, or drink water. They just accept that they have these issues with their pelvic floor, and that's it. Whereas for me, first of all, I was interested in protecting it and making sure I didn't do anything dangerous. But the more I spoke to her, the more I realized, I started speaking about it to everyone. So females in my life, and I realized there's so many people, and not 20 years older than me, who have had their kids and they just accept, oh no, I can't go in a bouncy castle. As opposed to, no, your pelvic floor muscles. So just like any muscle, you can train them and you can fix whatever the issue is. Yeah. And also the proactively going to get checked. So for me, because I knew about the area, I proactively went to, like, they call it like a pelvic floor, like an MOT. There was no issue, but I went to do that. And I was just, my mind was blown. I was like, why is this not something that's prescribed to like every woman? You know what I mean? Having children before they have children. Because I know people even in their 20s with certain skipping in the gym, they struggle with that, and they haven't even had kids. So this is a sort of education, and that's what Helen is doing with her courses. It's kind of delivering information to females that we should have been taught in schools. So for me, and sorry, I suppose in a long-winded way, how that was relevant to our products was with Fiber 89 and relieving constipation. And Helen said to me, you know, whenever I was pregnant, she was like saying, whatever you do, like, make sure that you avoid, you know, constipation, you know, through diet and drinking enough water. And she said also that one of the things she stressed was never to strain, you know, when you're going to the toilet. And she said that this line has just stuck with me, and I never heard it before. The constipation can be more damaging to your pelvic floor than childbirth. So for me, I was like, that's the first time. And again, even given my background, that was the first time that information was given to me. So again, my friends are sick listening to me kind of preach this message. But this whole thing around female health is just something I think is just, there's so much information, and we haven't, with something, as you talked about transition year, this is the stuff that we should be learning in school.
And you know, that's it. Like, and your motivation is to help. And I think, you know, with my classes too, I love feedback where people are feeling better. Anytime that's the feedback that comes back, brilliant, that's great, you feel better, that's fantastic. Do you know?
Oh, the kick, like, genuinely the kick, like, I had a lady call me at about, I don't know how she got my mobile number, but she called me. I was coming home from the gym, I was in the car, and she called me. It was about 9:15 at night, and it took me ages, and she was a bit, you know, weary that she was calling me, but she had gone to the chemist in DCU, and she had got Fiber 89, and she was someone who struggled with constipation since she was in primary school. She remembers being brought by the ambulance once in primary school, once in secondary school, because of pains in her stomach that ended up being constipation, you know, both times. And her whole life she has had that experience. And she was calling me because she was at this point where she was using enemas, she was using everything. And 589 was the first thing that had worked for her. So even at that point, you know, whenever we're at the stage and we're trying to figure stuff out and we're trying to get into, open up, you know, super values and done stores and get into health food stores, and then you get a phone call like that, and it's just, that's what it's about. And the lift and the motivation and what you get from that is incredible, you know. So
that's the job satisfaction.
Absolutely.
So just for anyone that doesn't know, they're available now in all the super values, and I've seen them in some pharmacies too, and of course online at circleoflife.ie as well.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, available online from our website. And then so super funny, you were talking about the support locally. Pete McMahon was the first our first store, our first stand, so he was very supportive from the start, because, you know, my background is not retail at all, so it's obviously academia. So I literally did not know how a box got from the back of a van onto a shelf in a supermarket. So Pete was amazing, and he was so supportive, and he took out his phone and he gave me phone numbers of, you know, for Fleming's in Monaghan, for McNally's in Clonus, for Eugene O'Gorman and Carrick McCross, and each of them, honestly, they welcomed me with open arms. And that was before we were even listed with Musgraves. So locally, the support in Monaghan was amazing. And again, Kathleen Ward, are you familiar with Kathleen Ward's health clinic in Lough Agish? She as well, she was fantastic, and she has come on board actually as an independent advisor now. So she's, you know, obviously she has years of experience as a herbalist. So so the support locally has been amazing.
Great. I love that. That's brilliant. Well, my favorite is the green coffee infused with herbal teas
and green teas,
and the sleep. I love the sleep remedy. So I'm trying. My goal this month is to try and get more sleep. So I didn't get up till 10 o'clock today, so I'm
lovely.
Now I can't say I made it to bed at half. I was like, gosh, Charlie, you picked a bad couple of weeks. The kids are off school and all. But I'm trying. But the sleep remedy's great, and I'm trying to take it. So that's my health goal, because you know yourself with kids, sometimes you get caught up late.
Totally, and I think it's, I know for when you work for yourself, it tends to be when the kids go down, because obviously there's a point in the evening you have to stop working, and there's dinner time and all of that, and then bedtime, and then you start again kind of when the kids go down. So but I think it's not just working for yourself. I think a lot of people are doing that now because of the working from home. So a lot of people, like, we're fortunate in our house, like we have this upstairs, so it's kind of cut off from the living space, but a lot of people, their desk is their kitchen table, or it's in their sitting room. So there's no kind of, you know, differentiation between work and home life. So, and I think that is massively affecting people's sleep at the moment. And for me, before, Triple Z was our last product to launch, and what took me, I suppose in my head, I always associate sleep issues. I've always been a good sleeper, so I associate sleep issues with older people, or, you know, for different reasons, people with, you know, maybe they're on medication that affects their sleep, or steroids, or they're in pain. But what I found when I was speaking to, you know, my gym is obviously there's a broad age, you know, big age gap across the gym. And I remember speaking to people, and like some of the coaches, and they're kind of their early 20s, mid 20s. And as soon as I mentioned that we're, you know, that I was launching a sleep product, they were like, I need some of that. And the amount of people that said that to me, and I was really taken aback, because I kind of was like, why can't you sleep? Like, you've no kids, you know, in my head, that's the way I was thinking. But across the board, I think that's one of the things that COVID and lockdown has impacted us.
Oh, you're right.
Know, people's sleep.
I have no issue getting to sleep. Like yourself, I probably sit then and I start doing work, or I'm posting. You realize the next day, you posted that post at 11:30 last night.
I know,
the only chance I've got. Like,
I know,
or replying to messages or emails or whatever late at night. But it's creating those boundaries too with work. But it is, as you say, when you work for yourself, and it's all, and sometimes the work is on your phone as well, and you're lying in bed.
And that's the problem, and it's the blue light, and it's that whole concept of sleep hygiene. So for us, we always encourage Triple Z to be taken as part of a nighttime, you know, like an unwinding ritual. So you're not drinking, you know, Triple Z and then sitting on your phone until and then turn off the light. Like it's part of, you know, limit your screen time, turn off the television, turn off, you know, whatever, it's your laptop or your phone. And it's do whatever it is that kind of relaxes you, you know, so whether it's reading a book or, you know, but finding your way to unwind.
Like, well, hands up, say it. you know, I try to make healthier choices, but you fall victim to the habits of everyone. You're human, like, you know, so
yeah.
I certainly do not have it all sorted. You know,
No,
it's
no.
constant.
No,
You're
damage
always,
limitations, isn't it?
exactly. Well, come here, Sarah. It was great chatting. Thanks so much for coming on. I learned so much, and
I
I
know.
wish you all
Thank
the
you.
best too with Circle of Light, and look forward to seeing what else comes up with it. And you certainly have a customer for life with me.
Brilliant. Listen, Charlene, thanks a million. Thanks
Yeah,
so much for
yeah,
inviting me on.
yeah. Good to see you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.